So unfortunately, another person in the Transformers family and in the anime world
Yeah.
passed away at a very young age. Tsuru, sorry if I can't pronounce that, Hiromi Tsuru, passed away at 57 years old. She was found dead in her vehicle.
Ooh.
So far, the coroner's report is natural causes, according to them, which I find, for my personal opinion, I find that bizarre for 57 years old.
But you do have
Um,
to realize they kind of work themselves to death in Japan.
I could only imagine. Um, for now, before I get into what we really know her for, the reason why I bring her up on the show is because she actually does have a quite a strong tie to Transformers, also due to family too. Her herself, being a prolific voice actor, and she voiced quite a few important characters. She voiced one character in the original Transformers series in Master Force. She voiced a human character, Kupo, or Kupo, depending how you pronounce it, who was one of Cab's friends from his kingdom that he originated from. And she was in one episode, and then years later, Sakamoto actually put her in one of the Legends comic books. And in the images for the podcast, I'll post her two little appearances in the background, just so you'll know which character I'm talking about.
Nice.
Um, so she was a Master Force character, a one-shot character that was related to the character of Cab, which we know as Hosehead today in Transformers. Um, One thing about her though was she was married to Kiichi Nanba, and Kiichi Nanba is, we're talking ton of voices from G1 Japan. I mean, Blitzwing, Bone Crusher, Breakdown, Blaster, Chip Chase, Dirge, Frenzy. You know, just to name
Jesus.
Prowl, Reflector, Skids,
Jenkins.
Blue Streak, Sunstreaker, Streetwise. Just to name a few. Just to name a few. Like he was Battle Beast White Lio. He was
Yeah.
Lio
Yeah. Yeah.
Zack.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was Lio Kaiser. He was a lot of, he was, to give an equivalency, he was probably like the Michael Bell,
Mm.
if you will. Maybe
Okay.
Michael Bell, like I don't want to say Peter Cullen or Frank Welker, but he was like the Michael Bell of
Voiced your
of the
childhood, basically.
of the Japanese side of G1. So she was married to him. So just to give you an idea, like, so of who that person was, she was married to that guy who was in charge of all those voices, also. So, but what we should really know her for was she was the voice of Bulma from Dragon Ball, which is very important character. This is
Bulma
all
Briefs.
Yep, very important. Bulma briefs. She was the voice of, for people who are big fans of Ranma One Half, she was Ukio, the okonomiyaki spatula wielding, martial artist. If you were a fan of Kaniku Man, or as it's known as Muscle in America, she was the character of Natsuko, and Natsuko, who would later on marry Terry Man, and then they would give birth to Terry the Kid, or Terry Canyon, for people who watched Ultimate Muscle.
Mm.
So that's like who her character was. For people who like Macross, she was the voice of one of the Bridge Bunnies. She was Kim, but there was three Bridge Bunnies in Macross. She was one of them, one of the more lesser characters, but still was always present in Macross and in Do You Remember Love. And for people who really like Trigun, which was a really good anime in the late '90s, she was Meryl Streif, who was
Yeah.
one of the main female protagonist characters, if not the female protagonist character of the series. So she played a lot of really key roles in anime history, Bulma obviously being the most predominant of them, that really is going to affect. And probably when the news becomes more widespread, I mean, we're recording this at nighttime right now, but tomorrow, because the news broke not too long after we did this recording, um, when the news is going to break with the rest of the world, a lot of people are going to probably be making the connection to Bulma. And one of my Twitter followers made a mention to me saying that there's probably going to be a lot of pictures of a crying Vegeta all over the internet.
Yeah. Pretty
Um,
much.
but it's sad too because she right now is still recording the voices from Dragon Ball Super,
Yeah.
which is the new Dragon Ball series. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do with that piece of that piece of a problem now. I mean, because again, this wasn't like an old person passing away. This was a sudden death at a young age. So 57 is still pretty darn young. So it's a real shame, but you know, it goes to show, don't overdo it, people. Don't overdo it. Enjoy life, because you never know. You never know. And Hiromi will miss you. I loved Bulma, so like that's a real shame.
You'll be missed.